Sir Anthony Hopkins is a true legend in the acting world, captivating audiences for decades with his incredible talent and versatility. While from the outside, his story seems like that of any other Hollywood icon, full of glitz and glamour. However, time has not been kind to this 86-year-old legend. Join us as we dive deeper into his struggles with alcoholism and Asperger syndrome. Born in the Margam district of Port Talbot on December 31, 1937, Hopkins's journey from a modest background to becoming a celebrated actor is a tale of determination and artistry. His career, spanning over half a century, is marked by iconic roles that have etched his name into the depth of cinematic history. Sir Hopkins was inspired by fellow Welsh actor Richard Burton, whom he met at the age of 15. Despite his unproductive school days, where he preferred art and music over studies, Hopkins enrolled at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama in Cardiff, graduating in 1957. Later, he met Burton again in 1975 as Burton prepared to take over Hopkins's role in Peter Shaffer's Equus. Hopkins describes Burton and Peter O'Toole as wonderful, larger-than-life characters. After completing 2 years of national service in the British Army, Hopkins moved to London to study at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. That's when his icon film career began. But before his journey in the film industry could take off, his journey of love and relationship began. He crossed paths with Petronella Barker, an actress with her own unique charm and talent. In the mid-1960s, Hopkins, a young actor, was on the rise in the theater world. It was during this period of artistic exploration that he met Barker. In 1966, Hopkins and Barker decided to tie the knot, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. Their marriage was a blend of personal and professional camaraderie as they navigated the early stages of their acting careers. However, the happiness was short-lived. Soon after the birth of their daughter, Abigail Hopkins, in 1968, Anthony and Petronella faced challenges in their marriage. Anthony walked away when Abigail was just 14 months old, leaving a void that would never truly heal. Abigail grew up without her father's presence in her life and found solace in the world of music, becoming a jazz singer. The absence of her famous father weighed heavily on her heart, and she spoke openly about the impact it had on her. In a candid interview, she revealed the infrequent nature of their meetings, saying, "I would see him maybe once a year." The breaking point came when Abigail, then a teenager, found herself in a bitter dispute with her father. The rift stemmed from a comment Anthony made about Abigail's mother. The words exchanged during that argument severed their connection for a long, painful stretch of time. Abigail's life took a dark turn as she battled drug addiction and suicidal thoughts. In her own words, she described the depths of her despair, saying, "I came very close to killing myself. It was the worst time I can remember." The pain of her fractured relationship with her father left scars that ran deep, leading to self-destructive behavior fueled by unresolved anger and grief. The dawn of the 1990s brought a glimmer of hope as father and daughter tentatively began to rebuild their connection. Abigail made small cameo appearances in 2 of Anthony's films, offering a flicker of reconciliation. Yet the wounds of the past were not easily healed, and their relationship remained fragile despite intermittent attempts at reconciliation. In 2018, Anthony confessed that he didn't even know if he had any grandchildren, displaying an indifference to the complex web of family dynamics. When confronted with the suggestion that his attitude seemed callous, he replied with a chilling response, "Well, it is cold because life is cold." The next chapter in Anthony's love life would start in the most dramatic of ways. It all began with a fateful encounter with Jennifer Linton at Pinewood Studios. Hopkins was cast as the star in the movie 8 Bells Toll, a production Linton's company was collaborating on. The encounter between the two unfolded when the production manager, Ted Lloyd, reached out to Linton in a state of anxiety. Hopkins and Leon Collins had missed their flight due to excessive drinking, while the rest of the production unit was already en route. Feeling a sense of urgency, Linton agreed to pick up the inebriated celebrities from Heathrow Airport. Little did she know that this encounter with a volatile and belligerent Hopkins would set the stage for the drama that unfolded. In 1973, just a year after his divorce from Barker, Hopkins took the plunge and married Linton. Their union marked the beginning of a new chapter in their lives, but it was not without its challenges. Hopkins, known for his own battles with substance abuse, seemed to carry this struggle into his marriage with Linton. As the years passed, their relationship became increasingly unstable. By 1996, they were living in different countries, physically and emotionally distant from each other. Hopkins himself characterized their marriage as perfect due to the freedom it afforded him, hinting at a sense of liberation that defined their relationship. Ultimately, in 2002, the couple parted ways. Their separation, after nearly 3 decades together, marked the end of a significant era in Hopkins' life. Third time was the charm, as Hopkins would encounter Stella Araveo, a Colombian-born antiques dealer. Meeting at a time when Hopkins's career had already reached towering heights, Stella brought a refreshing and grounding presence to his life. After his marriage ended with Jennifer Linton in 2002, Hopkins and Stella decided to tie the knot, signaling the beginning of a beautiful partnership. This marriage, coming later in Hopkins's life, reflected a mature and thoughtful love. Stella shared in Hopkins's interests and passions, from art and music to philanthropy, providing a sense of balance and normalcy amidst the chaos of a life lived in the limelight. Hopkins, who had faced personal challenges, including overcoming alcoholism, found in Stella a supportive and understanding partner. She stood by him, offering strength and encouragement. Their life together is filled with moments of quiet contentment and shared joys. Whether attending events, traveling, or simply enjoying each other's company at home, Hopkins and Stella have shown that their bond is one of genuine affection and mutual support. They are still happily married till today. Known for his iconic roles that defied generations, you'd be hard-pressed to believe that he performed all these roles while suffering from a condition called Asperger syndrome, a form of autism spectrum disorder. This condition is characterized by difficulties in social interaction, nonverbal communication, and repetitive patterns of behavior and interests. Early on, Hopkins realized that his mind worked differently, leading to deep insecurity and curiosity. He expressed, "I was never sure what the hell I was." That led to years of deep insecurity and curiosity. I could never settle anywhere. His experience with Asperger's brought a sense of being an outsider, feeling somehow different from those around him. This feeling was compounded by the fact that Asperger's was not widely recognized or understood during his early years. Hopkins's condition significantly influenced his approach to acting. Known for his meticulous preparation and the ability to memorize lines, he once astounded the crew of Steven Spielberg's Amistad by delivering a 7-page courtroom speech in one go. His exceptional memory is not only outstanding, but also reflects the focused and repetitive patterns typical of Asperger's. His unique perspective allows him to deconstruct and understand characters in a way that differs from others. He shared, "I definitely look at people differently. I like to pull a character apart to work out what makes them tick." This approach has led to some of the most memorable and compelling performances in cinematic history. Hopkins's Asperger's has also shaped his personal life. Describing himself as very much a loner, he admits to not going to parties and not having many friends. This preference for solitude and focused interests aligns with the traits commonly associated with Asperger's. Despite the challenges, Hopkins has embraced his condition, seeing it as an integral part of who he is. When asked about his eccentricity, especially in roles like the one in Transformers: The Last Knight, he acknowledges it as a characteristic often associated with Asperger's. It's a part of his uniqueness, contributing to the depth and authenticity of his performances. Sir Anthony Hopkins's reflections on his life and career are marked by a candid acceptance of both the good and the bad. "I have made many mistakes in my life," he admits. "But do I regret any of them? No." This attitude reflects a deep understanding and acceptance of life's complexities. In his illustrious acting career, Hopkins faced a unique challenge known as typecasting. Typecasting, the practice of repeatedly casting an actor in the same kind of role, is a common issue in Hollywood. For Hopkins, the risk emerged after his intense and unforgettable portrayal of the cannibalistic serial killer Hannibal Lecter. The character became a cultural icon, and Hopkins' performance left an indelible mark on audiences and filmmakers alike. Despite earning him an Academy Award and immense acclaim, the chilling performance posed a potential limitation on his diverse acting abilities. While the role brought accolades, it also carried the possibility that he might be forever seen in the light of this one character. The concern was not just about being offered similar roles, but also about the audience's ability to see him as anyone other than the brilliant and menacing Lecter. Post The Silence of the Lambs, Hopkins took on a variety of roles that showcased his incredible range. He played sensitive and nuanced characters like C.S. Lewis in Shadowlands and the loyal butler Stevens in The Remains of the Day. These roles were a departure from Hannibal Lecter, demonstrating Hopkins' ability to evoke empathy and deep emotion. Hopkins also ventured into different genres, from historical dramas to thrillers and even superhero movies. His roles in Amistad as former President John Quincy Adams and in Thor as Odin, the father of the titular character, are examples of his versatility. Each of these roles allowed Hopkins to explore different facets of his acting prowess, far removed from the shadow of Lecter. One of the most significant challenges Sir Anthony Hopkins faced was his battle with alcoholism, a struggle that he bravely overcame and openly shared, offering inspiration and hope to many. Hopkins's journey with alcoholism began in his early years of acting when the pressure to perform, insecurities tied to the profession, and the social culture of the time led him to seek solace in drinking. During the 1960s and 1970s, as Hopkins was establishing himself as an actor, the stress of living up to expectations and the unpredictable nature of the acting world weighed heavily on him. Like many in the industry, he found temporary escape in alcohol, which soon turned into a dependency. The more successful he became, the more he felt the pressures of fame, and alcohol remained a constant, albeit destructive, companion. This dependency on alcohol began to take a toll on Hopkins' personal and professional life. Relationships were strained, and his health was affected. The turning point came in the 1970s when Hopkins woke up in a hotel room in Phoenix, Arizona, with no recollection of how he got there. This moment of realization was a wake-up call. Hopkins saw the destructive path he was on and knew something had to change. In December 1975, Hopkins made the life-altering decision to stop drinking. It was a decision that required immense strength and willpower. He turned to Alcoholics Anonymous, a step that he credits with saving his life. This commitment to sobriety was not just about quitting alcohol. It was about reclaiming his life and finding new ways to cope with the challenges and pressures he faced. Sobriety brought a new clarity and focus to Hopkins' life and career. His performances gained new depth, and his personal life stabilized. He approached his roles with renewed energy and dedication, bringing to them an authenticity that can be partly attributed to his own experiences and struggles. When it comes to Sir Anthony's personal beliefs and how found solace in religion and spirituality, that story is as captivating and complex as any role he has played on screen. For many years, Hopkins identified as an atheist, viewing the world and his place in it through a lens of skepticism, questioning the existence of a higher power. This perspective was a fundamental part of his identity, both as an individual and as an actor known for his intense and thoughtful portrayals. However, a significant turning point came during an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. Hopkins, struggling with alcoholism, was asked a simple yet profound question by a woman at the meeting. "Why don't you just trust God?" This question struck a chord with Hopkins, an approach he had never considered. In a moment of openness, he decided to believe and trust in God. This decision marked a dramatic shift in his life. As Hopkins recounted, "I could not stop drinking, but I just asked for a little bit of help, and suddenly it was just like bingo." This newfound belief in a higher power had a profound impact on Hopkins. It not only aided in his recovery from alcoholism, but also ushered in a new era of spiritual awakening for him. He started to view his life and career through a different lens, one that acknowledged the presence and influence of something greater than himself. As Hopkins grew older, his thoughts increasingly turned to the mysteries of life, God, purpose, and the afterlife. During an appearance at the LEAP conference, he spoke about this transition, reflecting on how he moved away from atheism towards a belief in God. He marveled at the miracle of life itself, expressing awe at the simple yet profound act of his heart beating and his lungs breathing. Hopkins's deep dive into spirituality also influenced his work. In preparing for his role as Methuselah in the movie Noah, he spoke about falling deeper into belief as he aged. His portrayal of religious figures, including playing Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI in the Netflix original movie The Two Popes, further reflected his engagement with spiritual themes. Hopkins's faith journey significantly impacted his personal life. His acknowledgement of needing God, especially during his struggles with addiction, was a pivotal moment. He described it as a transformation, likening it to being freed from a demon of addiction. This newfound faith provided him with strength and guidance, not only in overcoming personal challenges, but also in approaching life with a renewed perspective. As he delved into roles that explored religious themes, Hopkins brought an authenticity to his performances that resonated with audiences. Sir Anthony Hopkins' journey is not just a story of professional success, but one of personal evolution, overcoming struggles, and embracing life with a new outlook. Hopkins's impact on the world of entertainment is immeasurable, inspiring countless individuals across generations. All his fame and fortune came at the cost of overcoming his personal demons.